established teams bringing in very young players to play. That's a good thing to see, William.
Absolutely, yes. Young players making their mark here in this 7th circuit. And that's how the likes of Ayimba and the likes of Oscar Osir started this game. It's a good break there from Menengai from the home team, the hosts, Western Bulls. And they lose that ball there. And a promising break has just gone begging as Victor Don Odhiambo goes on a good break here. Colin Shikoli. Good break there from Homeboys, and they will surely get the second try here. This will be try number 2 for the DJs.
It's
literally out of nothing,
now.
actually.
Yes. The home team should definitely know that possession is key here. They lost that possession they had so easily, and against a team like Homeboys, who are like bees, will land on the ball and score off it definitely.
Yes, and that's the second try for Homeboys, who takes the score now to 12-0 as Agustin Lugonzo lines up this conversion. They always say that your first game is such a tricky game. You don't know how the other team has prepared itself, and already Homeboys making light work of Western Bulls. That takes the score now to 14-0.
Again, you can see Simon Odongo's hand in this team. You can see that they're very keen to do the basics very well. The racks are on, the passes are to hand, and running into space. So that's brilliant to see.
Yes, absolutely. Good work there by by the Homeboys team, exploiting mismatches and pouncing on the mistakes of Western Bulls. Western Bulls now receive possession there. Lucky Opio, Frank Mukaisi, Treasure Odundo. Can they get a response here? 14-0. Still an achievable target, but they'll have to hold on to this ball, get the possession right, as the DJs are penalized at the breakdown there. And the referee's arm is coming out for a card, and there's going to be...
Yeah, that was deliberately slowing down the ball, and it's not tolerated now in the game of sevens, which I think is quite a good thing. It's just the game flow, and that was a very juvenile mistake by Leonard Mugaisi, who was a seasoned player.
Actually, it's Agustin Lugonzo with a cynical foul there.
Initially, it was
Mugaisi
who went down, who took the tackle and didn't release the player.
Absolutely, yes. So, Agustin Lugonzo repeats the same mistake, and he is penalized now by the referee, second offender. So what can the Western Bulls do? They have the one-man advantage. And can they make it count? Or not the best of passes there?
Unfortunately, that was one of the very few chances they're going to have possession when they're still outnumbering Homeboys, and unfortunately for them. And if you have more guys in the field, just take it for the rack, or if you have a penalty, take it to the corner so that you can have a setup, and then you have the one-man overlap.
Yes. 6 men against 7 is an unfair fight, and already the Western Bulls are not making it count because the DJs have scored try number 3, so that takes the score now to 19-0.
Yeah, you can tell the maturity there. Juma passing the ball so brilliantly. It's a sublime pass off to Andeto, who's of course a very quick runner.
So that takes the score now to 19-0. The conversion kick to come. I think the conversion has been missed.
The Western Bulls should know that any sort of position you have, you must keep, especially if you're more than the opposing team, so as you can score. But unfortunately, Homeboys scored when there were lesser guys in the field.
Yeah, 6 men against 7, and they were still able to get a try. So that takes the score to 19-0. And I don't know if I could call it a baptism of fire there on your own home ground. You're not able to get any points on board, and things really going south here for Western Bulls, who trail by 19 points to 0.
Yeah, to be fair, they're playing the circuit champions last year, which means there's a good pedigree of players in the field against the Western Bulls. So unfortunate for them that they had to land this in this pool where teams are really, really well grilled.
Absolutely, yes. Western Bulls get another penalty here. Remember, Homeboys are still down to 6 men. I don't know if Agustin Lugonzo is back. Shouldn't be, and they lose that.
They should be back. He's just come back in, and Unfortunately for Western Bulls, is a ball like that, then they should be able to string the phases in. That's the only thing that is going to get you gaps.
Yeah, and hold on to that ball and ask questions. Steady Akala. And finally, some good ball there for the for Western Bulls.
The DJs with a very composed defense line, and you can see they're not panicking. They're coming up in a line, taking the tackles and making sure that the ball can be played out.
The hooter sounded. This should be the last play of the first half here. Homeboys leading by 19 points to 0. The second game of the morning here at the Bull Ring. And they get penalized there. They break down holding on to the ball. And things not really going their way here. Lugonzo weighing his options here. Juma. And that was a knock-on, but it's going to be half-time here at the Bull Ring. Homeboys leading by 19 points to 0.
Yeah, the Kakamega boys need to be told by the coach to keep the ball a little more. They're not putting in the phases, and that's the reason why they can't find the gaps.
Yeah, 19-0 the scoreline in favor of Homeboys. It's been a torrid first half for the for the home team, Western Bulls, and now a bit of engagement going on at the huddle at halftime, just trying to see how they can get back into this game. It's going to be a tough second half for them. They're chasing this game, and it wouldn't be easy against the defending circuit champions, Homeboys.
What they ought to think about is playing as a team more than the running until you're caught to pass the ball. It will be very easy for them if they played as a team, set up the racks, play the ball, and run into the opposition with an intent.
Yes, yeah. Teamwork play more than individualistic play, because we're seeing a lot of individualistic play coming in from Western Bulls, and it's not really working because individualistic play can be well read out by opposition defenses. It's more about teamwork and getting the ball to go through the phases and look for those gaps to be able to score those tries.
I think as the day grows, that Kakamega will realize, the Western Bulls guys will realize that it is important to want to use a system as opposed to just everybody trying his bit. Unfortunately for them, I don't think that has been trained as deliberately. So you'll find a bit of a problem.
In your picture there, the Homeboys coach Jason Hector. With heavily being assisted by Simon Odongo, Leonard Mugaise also there in the huddle.
Actually, I think it is Simon who's the head coach, and then Hector is, especially in the seventh game.
In the seventh game, yes. Hector just signed 2-3 weeks ago for a 2-year contract. We'll be eyeing the 15th season as Odongo takes charge of this 7th team. 7th circuit. Homeboys winners of 4 tournaments last year, the champions of the 7th circuit in second time in 3 years, and that was under the tutelage of Paul Murunga. So second half about to restart. It's Western Bulls who are going to be restarting this encounter, trailing by 19 points to 0. And the kickoff from the home team. A bit messy, but referee penalizes the DJs.
Very unfortunate there. Should have let the guy come to the floor before he got into contact with him.
Yeah,
a bit of a dangerous play there. Actually, I thought he ought to have earned a card for that.
Yeah, because you're not supposed to tackle a man in the air. Now, a very individualistic kick there.
Yeah, I thought they would have learned that that sort of play will not get them anywhere.
Wanted to go for the kick chase, but it hasn't worked out. But it's still going to be Western Bulls ball. It's going to be a scrum. It's going to be a 5-yard scrum.
Yeah, the Homeboys carried it over to the tie area.
Yes, the Homeboys team carried over to the dead ball area, and it's going to be a scrum ball for the Western Bulls. Can they make it count here? Never saw them advancing this deep to the Homeboys 22.
They need to pass the ball a little more, William, if they want to, because I suspect the scrum might want to go it alone, given that he thinks the line is the chalk is very close.
Yeah, they need to play this as a team. And as you said, he actually opted to go for it by himself. But look at the Homeboys defense, scrambling and really harassing the Western Bulls team now.
That's where defense is toughest. You don't want to carry the ball on your own, trying to run into a defense as composed as Homeboys is.
And
you
they
can
lose
see
that
they
ball.
lost the ball, which was very crucial.
Intercept there, good play, good reading of the ball there by Leonard Mugaisi. And a missed opportunity there for Western Bulls. They should have been able to get at least a try.
If only they can play as a team. If only they can play as a team.
And the DJs lose that ball there.
That was very careless from Juma. The pass that went to no one.
And now can Western Bulls now make it count here? It's a bit slow coming in from the rack, but can they? And there was a knock on there from Western Bulls, and the momentum that created there, they have lost it. So it's going to be advantage to Homeboys, who lead by 19 points to 0. First game of the morning for them in this very tightly contested Pool A, which also features Menengai Oilers and Impala. Substitutions.
They seem to have slowed down Homeboys and not coming up with a score. Let's see what the three fresh legs, sets of legs will do in this game.
The sponsor is Stanbic, the overall title sponsor of the circuit. For our event here in Kakamega, the county government 037, and also appreciating the support of the Lions Club of Kakamega.
It's the DJs on the attack here. That's Colin Shikoli.
He's grown very strong, Shikoli, this off-season.
Yes.
He's worked a lot in his conditioning, and that has given him the advantage to be able to fend. He wasn't a player who could fend off the defense, so that really limited how he played. But now we see a much stronger Shikoli, who's unfortunately there, probably going to receive a card for the high tackle.
Yeah, it was a high tackle, and it's one area I think the referees have been told to penalize opposition teams. Yes, and it's a card, and Homeboys are going to be down to 6 men, and it's one area that I think they really have to focus their discipline.
It's a bit lazy for the high tackle, William, if you ask me, because that player was in full range of his tackle, of a safe tackle. So it just for him to go a little lower. It's inexcusable for a player of Collins' stature to go for a high tackle.
Yes, and can now the Western Bulls finally get something on the board here? Remember, they're playing with 6, and that should be the opening try for Western Bulls. They get on the scoreboard finally.
Finally, they get that score, which goes a long way to close the gap, which is 19. Definitely a very high score to chase, especially the way they're playing individually.
Yeah, they'll get a chance, especially if they can go through the phases and hold on to this ball. They might just be able to get a second try, but it'll boil down to teamwork and less of individualistic play from Western Bulls.
Unfortunately, didn't get the kicks, so they have to score twice. They have to score 3 times to be able to win this game.
Good play there from them. And finally, after knocking on the door has finally been opened, and they do get on the scoreboard. So the restart there from Odundo. Won there by the Homeboys team, playing now from right to left. It's a good counterattack coming in from Western Bulls, yes.
That was super counterattack.
Good counterattack from them. But it's good defense also coming in from the DJs.
It's good to see Simiu back. He has been injured for a very long time.
And that ball has gone out. Is it out yet?
No,
yeah, it is out actually. Yes, it is out. So it's going to be a line-out throw for the DJs. 19-5, time winding down here in this second pool game. Pool A clash between Western Bulls and the Homeboys. Homeboys leading by 19 points to 5. 3 tries and 2 conversions. And 1 unconverted try by Western Bulls.
The game seems to be gone with a team like Homeboys who are going to just hang on to the ball until they run down the clock. If they don't score, then they should be safe.
Yes, they should be safe. And referee's arm is out.
Unfortunately, they lose that ball forward, trying to give the short ball to Mugais at the front of the line.
And once again, the offloading game didn't work. Support play was wanting there from Western Bulls. And referee penalizes them. It's going to be a scramble.
Homeboys back to 7 men.
Homeboys back to 7 men. Have a healthy 14-point lead over Western Bulls.
They've definitely slowed down.
Yes, they have slowed down. First half was a bit frenetic, and we saw 3 good tries being scored by the DJs. But so far, they haven't gotten any points on the board in the second half.
I think they're just happy to be safe with this, and given that this pool is really tough, conserve some energy.
For the 2 games against Impala and Menengai Oilers,
because Oilers now is in a very tight place. They've got to win the next 2 games. It won't be difficult to beat Kakamega, but Homeboys will be definitely a hard task.
Good break there, I think, from Collins Shikoli. And Shikoli, can he go all the way? Loses the ball there in contact. But
he actually placed it back, and he did it so cleverly.
Absolutely, yes. Good work there from Homeboys, who get try number 4. That takes the score now to 24 points to 5 with the conversion kick to game, and that probably should be the icing on the cake here for the defending champions Homeboys. So Shikoli with a good break there, beating 2 men, tackled. He wasn't held, and he was able to release the ball. And I think Brian Juma gets a try. And that is game over. 26 points to 5, the final scoreline.
That was a brilliant try at the end of the game.
So coming up next, it's Nondies against Mean Machine. Is now going to be Pool B. So Pool A, as it stands, it's Homeboys leading, followed by Impala and Menengai Oilers and Western Bulls in position 3 and 4. So Nondies against Mean Machine.
It would be interesting to see how this game goes. Machine, a very new side that we don't know how they'll play, and Nondies with a few keen, one or 2 experienced players in Benji Marshall and Ombachi as well, leading the pack, and Jeremy Matata back on the squad.
Nondies in the white playing from left to right, and Machine in the traditional blue playing from right to left. These 2 teams dominated the Kenya Cup in the late 80s and early 90s, but so far nowhere near the pecking order in terms of the Kenya Cup. But this should be an explosive encounter. Being the nature of 7s, you don't know how this game could go.
We'll see a very composed, well-drilled Nondies side under their coach Foxy. Paul Murunga has been assisting with Machine, so we'll see a team that's a bit more organized than they ordinarily would be.
Yes, yeah, absolutely. Paul Murunga having the assistant coach's duties at Mean Machine now. Machine playing from right to left here in the blue. Marvin Karungi to feed this ball into the scrum. How can Machine get something going? Trevor Sina gives it to Victor Xavier. Xavier trying to go past Dennis Ombachi. And Nondies penalized there, so it's still with Mean Machine.
Yeah, we'll see a lot of that from Mean Machine. We'll see a lot of quick play from Mean Machine trying to get the best of Nondies.
And once again, Nondies penalized for the second time there at the breakdown by the referee. Marvin Karungi now will opt to go to the corner, win the line out, and exact more pressure on Nondies.
That's very clever of them. I actually thought they were going to run it. The kick gives them a lot of ground and sets them up for a good run of the line out.
Yeah, absolutely, yes. They can win the line out ball here. Karungi gives it there to Raymond Ekutu.
That was very good technique in the line out as well.
Trevor Sina, good cutout pass there. Xavier trying to muscle his way there. But good defense there from Nondies. Karungi finds Daniel Oloch. Oloch now pinning his ears down. Nondies here under a bit of pressure, but Machine players are sleeping at the most crucial time. And Machine just trying to look for a gap here, but the Nondies defense standing tall so far, not allowing any soft tries to be scored. And that to me looked like a forward pass, I think. Yes,
it was a forward pass.
It was a forward pass there.
I'm very impressed by how Machine have been has played this. They're playing as a team. You can see they're sharp on the pass. If they can put the money passes through, they should be able to score quite easily.
Yes, that was a missed opportunity there for Min Machine, and the first time Nondies will be able to have the ball. They haven't seen the ball in this opening 2.5 minutes so far. It's been Min Machine so far.
Yeah, it's been Min Machine all the way, and I think Machine have really kept the ball for the last three or so minutes, and it's been very impressive play.
Now what can Nondies do here? Mabwa finds Benji Marshall. Marshall finds Ombachi. Ombachi, the strike runner who Nondies are going to be relying on. Mabwa.
And that's very unfortunate from Ombachi. I thought he would take the ball in to set them up with a rack in the corner, and you can see the coach is vividly unhappy with that
play
decision.
Yes, and a very experienced Nondies side. I mean, that has Benji Marshall, it has Moses Begi, it has Dennis Ombachi, Benji Marshall. I think they should be too strong for this Machine side, but the unpredictability of the Sevens, and a good kick there. It's a good grabber kick, and Dennis Ombachi is able to hold on to that ball, and
that's what he needed to have done in the corner when they had the ball. Just be confident and take the ball in, and given that they're a good side, they should be able to string they should be able to string more phases in. Unfortunately, they lose the ball forward.
Yeah, so it's going to be advantage to Mid Machine here. Remember, these opening games on the 7th circuit are very tricky. You're not switched on, you might just end up losing the game. But so far, it's Machine who seem to be having the edge in terms of possession and territory. And Karungi is able to get that ball now here. They change direction. They go to the blind wing. I mean, they go to the open wing, I beg your pardon. But still slow ball coming in for Machine. It should be quick ball. And the referee has called it back here for playing the ball on the floor. So it's going to be advantage to Nondies. Mabwa, Sumba. Can Nondies get something from this possession? And Machine penalized for
not allowing Fidel to play the ball on the ground. That's slowing down the ball deliberately. Actually, that is a cardable offense.
So Nondies get going again. Benji Marshall, Begi with a good show and go. Marshall again. Marshall, Ombachi.
I think they're getting too much contact, which is not necessary right now. They should be able to play the ball. The support is coming in very slow, and that's why the ball carriers are carrying in the ball a lot more.
And they're very isolated.
Yes.
It's very individualistic play coming in from Nondies here, and he's been held up,
and unfortunately
and they lose the ball. So it's going to be a Machine ball.
This
Machine
is definitely the support problem, William.
Yes.
I think the support is coming in too slow,
yes,
and forcing the guy to carry the ball into contact.
And it's very individualistic play coming in from Nondies. It's not more of teamwork. They're trying to get the ball to the ball carriers, but the ball carriers are being held up, and they're not able to deliver the ball at the right pace. Karungi is able to field that ball now. Trevor Sina just goes for the boot downfield, and there's no one at home there. It's ball just bobbling. The bounce of the rugby ball, very unpredictable, but Nondies are able to retrieve that ball, and they get a penalty.
That was very wise of Machine to realize that there was nobody home and to try and find ground with a kick. And luckily for them now, they put Nondies under pressure.
Ombachi gets the ball there and goes on a very good run. Now this should be an opportunity for Nondies here. He passes the ball out there to Ian Mabwa, and that should be the opening try for Nondies. Try number 1 for Nondies. Very well executed there. I thought Ombachi received the ball from a standing position, but he was able to size the position, go on his outside, go on a very good run. And despite the violent attempt of the Mid Machine defense, he was able to offload the ball there to Ian Mabwa. And finally, with very limited play, with very scrappy ball there, Nondies do get on the scoreboard
You can see there's no substitute for experience, and Mbachi just being composed there, knowing that once he beats the two men and he's got a man flying outside, you score the try. Nondies don't look very fit, unfortunately. Maybe it's opening times, opening tournament of the season, but they're not the sharpest.
Yeah, it's halftime here, and Nondies, they have huffed and puffed and finally gotten on the scoreboard. So it's 5-0 to Nondies as we are at the halftime interval here. This, remember, is a Pool B game. Coming up next, it's going to be Mwamba and Kisumu in Pool B.
Very exciting match. It will be good to see Mwamba with a lot of experienced players bringing the best out, with the talisman Colin Sinjera playing in the local circuit.
Yeah, let's see what Mwamba made of. As Ramsil Matekwa just giving his advice there to Mid Machine. They're not out of this game, but they'll have to be better executing, especially in attack. They've held onto the ball. They've had some very few carries. They've had a bit of possession and territory. But as Benjamin Aimba says, the money ball, the money pass has just been lacking in this Mid Machine team, especially in the first half.
I think once they realize that the final pass has to go to hand, that is what they'll do well.
Machine to
Right
go!
now
Machine to
faces
go!
coming in, but not being able to finish. And that's because they're not able to give that final pass that is also important. I'm quite impressed by their skills, and they look very very sharp in terms of not losing the ball willy-nilly.
Yes, very true, Benjamin Aimba. Yes, they've not been overawed by the opposition here. They've kept their shape, but now they'll really have to make the opportunities count and be sharp, especially on the attack end. I mean, in terms of execution, they'll have to execute better. 5-0 the scoreline as we resume battle for the second half. I think in this Pool B clash,
the Nondies coach must have been telling them we need to play more phases. Get the ball to the ball carriers, set it up. Let's play the ball immediately, go to the rack and run at them.
Trevor Sina with the restart here for Min Machine, who are playing now from left to right. A very warm welcome to those of you who are joining us on Bamba Sport. It's a National 7 circuit here in Kakamega. Benji Marshall, Mabwa.
Exactly what we're talking about. So the ball carriers will carry the ball forward a little more. So you'll see Ombachi there.
And Benjamin Ombachi just taken out into touch there.
Yeah, unfortunately for him, he should have known the touch as an extra defender, and that's losing position that would have been very valuable to them.
Yes, absolutely. And I think he's receiving the ball from a standing position. That for me will be my worry for this Nondies team. They're not
and he keeps doing that, unfortunately.
Yeah, hitting the ball at pace.
For a player who's only dangerous while running, he's not going to make a big impact if he keeps doing that.
And a good kick there downfield there from Min Machine, but that ball will go dead. And it's a missed opportunity there for.
And that's what Machine have to be cognizant of, William. I think they need to know that this possession is there's very little possession, and try and work through the phases, because that kick was really unnecessary.
Yes.
If they are close to the try line, if they set up 2-3 racks, they should have been able to be in a good place. Now they've lost the ball.
Yeah, they've lost the ball. Yeah, they should have held on to the ball and try to work it way through the Nondies defense. So it's going to be advantage to Nondies here. Nondies leading by 7 points to 0. What can they do here? Mabwa finds Ombachi now. Ombachi shrugs off 1, 2 defenders, goes to the floor. They reset there.
You can see the difference if he receives the ball going forward. He's gaining very good ground. And there goes Fidel as well.
Fidel Olo with a good carry there. Very strong, bruising flanker. We've seen, actually played for the Kenya team last week in the Elgon Cup.
Yes, a very aggressive player.
Yes.
And I think he's learning the game more as he plays for the national team. He's gaining a lot more skills.
Yes, Steve Odhiambo penalized there by the referee, and Nondies lose the ball. This game is still very wide open, if you ask me, because it's only 7 points to 0. Min Machine still very much in it, but they'll have to show better execution in attack as the referee penalizes Nondies.
Nondies should be disciplined now and not consider as many
Shavia,
penalties.
Karungi, now can they make it count? It's very slow ball coming in from Mean Machine. Once again, it's isolated play there.
You can tell the inexperience of Machine. They had an overlap of two men and they didn't use it. They still carried the ball into contact. And
finally, good play there from Mean Machine. They get on the scoreboard. Finally, that takes the score now to 7 points to 5 with the conversion kick to come. They have battled hard through every ball, and as my co-commentator Benjamin Amos is just holding on to the ball for longer periods, going through the phases, going through the racks, and finally they get on the scoreboard there by the captain Marvin Karungi.
That was a very good offload, very composed, and of course he had his support very close.
Can they nail the conversion now? Conversion is wide, but the game is on here, 7-5. As we said earlier, these opening games can be a bit of a tricky one for most of these teams.
With 3 minutes and a bit to go, Nondies have to retain possession and make sure that they keep the ball a little longer to be able to keep Machine out of this game. Otherwise, Machine looks like a very dangerous side that can claim this game in a blink of an eye.
Yes, Trevor Sina now with the restart here for Mean Machine. Sunny afternoon. It's a sunny morning here in Kakamega County at the Bull Ring for the start of the National 7 Circuit. Benji Marshall there retrieving the ball from the rack. Gives it to Sumba. Mabwa. Ombachi breaks one tackle. Breaks the second one. Does he have in support? He tries the dummy, but he's tackled there, but he's still able to hold on to that ball. Good upper body strength.
He's done very well to commit 4 men in that tackle.
Yes. Committing 4 men, meaning that there are gaps going to appear. Benji Marshall now. Sumba and the referee.
That's the sort of player that the players they need to avoid. Benji Marshall went down on the ground. He should have created the rack because they already had a numerical advantage, having given that Ombachi had committed more than 1 player.
Absolutely, yes, yeah. Should have gone for the rack, and Nondies really living a dangerous life here. 7-5, and with 2 minutes to go here in this encounter, anything goes here, and Machine will fancy their chances. It's a very tight pool B. Remember, with Mwamba facing Kisumu in the next game. That's a good kick downfield there. And can the exact pressure here? He's isolated. That's advantage now to Mean Machine, but the referee says...
Very unfortunate there. The Mean Machine player should have just kept his feet and tried to jack off for the ball.
Yes, contest for that ball there.
Yeah, that was unnecessary, what he did there.
Should have kept his body and positioning right, and probably they would have gone on the penalty.
They would have just let him get up or place the ball because he didn't allow him to come up, and that's why he's being penalized.
And so Nondies...
I think there was a previous infringement.
Yeah, there was a previous infringement there which was seen by Victor Dwar. So there was a high tackle. And once again, Nondies actually Machine now with the ball here. Victor Xavier, Trevor Sina combining, but they lose the ball in possession. But the referee says play on. Now can Mean Machine go on the attack here?
No, there was a knock on there. The ref has called it.
As the referee called it,
he
yes.
called it, yes. His arm was out.
His arm is out there. And that was going to be an opportunity there for Mean Machine to get the second try and probably
just
kill this game as
yes.
a contest. But the referee's whistle had gone. Yeah, he lost the ball going forward there.
I think the first one went back. It's the second one that was a knock on, actually.
Yeah, but the referee has the final say.
Yes, of course. It is.
And from where we sit, looked to me like it was very legit. But the referee says that there was an error and he has called it back. Now, Nondies, can they make this play count here? Good run there. Remember, 7-5 the scoreline.
That lack of support is going to kill Nondies.
And Nondies penalized there. Can now Mean Machine make it count? Once again, handling errors.
Very unfortunate. This was the last play. Just set it up, start putting the phases in, and it has scored and won the game.
Yeah, lack of composure there, really hitting Mean Machine very hard as the hooter has sounded. But this should be the last play, and if it was Nondies, you'd probably just kick the ball out and seal the win.
It was a knock on, so they've got to put it in, and a clever scrum half will probably feign a knock on here to just end the game.
Yes. Or probably get the ball and kick it out, because at 7-5, a Machine can get that ball and go through the phases and show a bit of composure.
He must make sure that they win this ball, because Machine are smelling blood, and this scrum will definitely be an aggressive one. And unfortunately, he did exactly what I thought he was going to do, try and feed the ball.
Yeah, he's penalized there by the referee now. Can Mean Machine make it count here?
The skewed feed, and then you lose possession.
And they lose the ball there, an advantage to Nondies.
They should just kick it out. I don't see the reason why he should try to play it, and
yes,
there it goes.
He's followed the instruction and they've kicked the ball out. And Willis Fox-Ojal will not be happy with what he has seen so far in this game. Not unhappy with the way his team has performed, but he'll be happy with the win. But the performance-wise, he'll have to play better.
He's having an altercation with the referee, which is really not the way we want this to end.
7-5 the scoreline for Nondies, who get the win very narrowly, as Kisumu now enter the fray against Mwamba.
It's good to see Mwamba jogging to the fields with a lot of experience there. Young players pumped up to work with the older ones.
Mwamba versus Kisumu, our third game of the morning here. National 7 circuit.
It will be good to see how Kisumu play now that they recently got promoted to the Kenya Cup. I know they're pumped. They want to show what they're made of, and quite a few big boys as well in this squad. I worked with them early in the season, last season.
Daniel Tabu, part of the Kenya Sevens team this season. An outstanding season with the Shuja squad in the World 7 Series.
Brilliant player.
Brilliant player. And Nondies, actually it's Mwamba playing from right to left, and Kisumu RFC playing from left to the Kisumu in the blue, Nondies, Mwamba in the traditional black Kulabu outfit. Michael Agevi also starting in this game alongside his brother Collins Injera. Early days yet, and Kisumu having taste of the game. Bruno Otieno, Maurice Osano, Brian Kipngeno, Agre Kitoi. In this Kisumu team, as you might have heard, they were promoted to the Kenya Cup.
They set up the ball, the keeping possession. Unfortunately, the ball going to floor will not help them as much. They're playing a very experienced side here.
Yes, very experienced side, and they need to make most of the opportunities here. Eliakim Kichoi trying to do the tackle. Good play.
Impressive offload there.
Loses the ball there.
Go forward. Billy Dambo coming with a smashing tackle.
Yeah, I can see the experience in the Mwamba team. They won't panic as much as they haven't seen the ball a lot. But good play coming in from Kisumu RFC.
That was impressive, the offload in between the men.
Yes, very impressive play coming in from the Kisumu RFC side.
Quite a warm day, William.
Absolutely, quite a very warm day here, and it's only morning hours. Collins Injera, a veteran of this Mwamba team, a veteran of the Kenya rugby scene. And that's Billy Odhiambo. Billy Odhiambo slides and falls, but is able to pick himself. But he's able to go all the way to the try box and get the opening try for Mwamba.
It's made it look very, very easy. Of course, the experience in Collins Injera to be able to draw the two men and give Billy Odhiambo the space on the outside.
Yeah, but very poor defense there coming from Kisumu. They're not able to read Billy Odhiambo's positioning and movement. He stopped, he started, and he was able to...
That's the sort of thing experience teaches you.
Yes.
Unfortunately, you never learn that from the coach.
Yeah, because he sucked in two men there.
Yes.
And before you know it, he was gone already. And Billy Odhiambo with the opening try for Mwamba.
Yeah, and with a player the stature of Billy Odhiambo, who's a very seasoned player. such a ball will definitely score off it.
Absolutely, and Mwamba with the lead by 7 points to 0. Remember, this pool also includes Nondies and Min Machine. And already Nondies off to a good start, narrowly beating Min Machine by 7 points to 5. The restart there from Daniel Tabu. And that should be a knock on there from Kisumu.
That's actually an offside, or knock on offside, because his player was ahead of him.
Collins Injera, cut out pass there that finds Billy Odhiambo. Odhiambo tackled there.
Billy ought to have passed that ball. He had one man out.
It was a high tackle, and the referee penalizes Kisumu, so Mwamba will get a second rub of the green here. Second bite of the cherry.
Taking long to make that decision, whoever was going to scratch the ball.
Bidding their time. Mwamba finished second on the circuit last season. Tabu, Kichoi, Injera with the ball up in the air is able to offload it here, and it's all Mwamba here. I mean, Kisumu literally just trying to
laboring through it.
And the referee penalizes them. It's Mwamba again. Cut out pass there that finds try number 2 there for Mwamba.
Billy Odhiambo being at the right place at the right time all the time.
Billy Odhiambo getting his second try of the morning for Mwamba. He's a utility player. I mean, he can actually play wing or actually center.
And he plays in the forwards as well.
And actually plays in the forwards.
He's got a strong runner as well.
Yeah, strong runner.
It was very unfortunate with his injury. He kept him out to play. It's good to see him back.
Yeah, good to see him back, fully fit. As Tabu now lines up the conversion for Mwamba FC. Conversion is successful. That takes the score now to 14 points to 0 in favor of Mwamba.
That was a difficult angle, and we know Tabu to get those difficult ones. He's going to count at the end of this day.
So the restart again for Mwamba. Kisumu have hardly had a sniff. As Tabu now with the restart. And it's won there by Brian Bango. Bango feeds the ball to Denver Audo. Audo gives it now to Anthony Wendo. Kisumu in the blue playing from left to right. Mwamba in the black playing from right to left. 14-0 the scoreline. Match number 3 of the National 7 circuit. Referee penalizes Kisumu yet again. And Tabu going on a scorching run there. Actually, it's not Tabu, but Tony Omondi. Collins Injera. Michael Agevi. What can Mwamba do here? Seleakim Kichoi. Ball being protected there by Billy Odhiambo. Collins Injera. Good break there from Tony Omondi. And Billy Odhiambo now. Billy Odhiambo, yes, try number 3. Mwamba making it look so easy here in this Saturday morning stroll here against Kisumu.
As you can see, William, the more experienced sides are taking the ball through the phases and able to find gaps only after they've taken out the defenders.
Yes.
What you can see, and it's happening in Kisumu as well, the lack of being relaxed enough to be able to just create the phases.
Yes, and defenders are being sucked in, and all of a sudden gaps appearing from all over the place. So Billy Odhiambo with a hat-trick of tries in this first half, so that takes the score now to 19-0 with a kick to come here by Daniel Tabu. And Tabu's kick narrowly misses the uprights. So that takes the score now to 19-0 at halftime. All the 3 tries have been scored by Billy Odhiambo. So Mwamba off to a good start here as they lead by 19 points to 0.
Definitely unexpected halftime score there with a very experienced Mamba side, boasting of at least 6 national team players, both young and old in the team.
And Barry Henry Otieno. That is your Kisumu squad.
I think the Mamba coach will be telling the guys just stay composed. He'll have a chance at least to expose more players in this half because as is they're quite safe in this game. You can see the brilliant offload there from Kisumu earlier on, and you can tell there's quite a bit of work they've done in the last season. Unfortunately, there, him carrying the ball carrier carrying the ball on the weaker side, close to the touchline.
This was just one of the highlights for them in that first half, as we've seen. But so far, it's all been Mwamba in this first half. And they lead by 19 points to 0. All tries have been scored by Bill Odhiambo. And probably Mwamba
that comical slip he had before the first try.
Before the first try, but he was able to maintain his balance and composure and able to score a try there. The Kisumu defense will really have to.
What Caleb, who's in the middle of the Kisumu huddle, will be telling his players is, you've got to carry the ball. You've got to do your duty. The ball carriers carry the ball. The scrum halves and the fly halves to be able to look for the gaps, toss the ball, and the finishers to run into the try box. It's good to see Caleb wearing so many hats as a player in Machine and J.K. Watt as a referee and now a coach for Kisumu Sevens.
Yeah, and he also had a stint also at Catholic University a couple of seasons ago.
Yes, he did. Quite a versatile individual.
Yes. So Kisumu now with the restart here. Brian Bang with the restart for Kisumu RFC. And won there very well there by Mwamba. Collins Injera tries to beat one, offloads the ball to Tabu.
I actually thought he knocked it on there.
Billy Odhiambo is providing cover the rack here, and Collins actually it's Michael Agevi. Offloads there, and that will be try number 4.
To Kichoi, who's strides in. I think Bling will definitely have a chance to play the rest of his bench at this point now.
Yes, absolutely. Now 24 points to 0. Mwamba making it look so easy here against Kisumu. Able to win the ball from the restart, go through the phases through Collins Injera, Michael Agevi and Eliakim Kichoi dotting down there to take the score now to 24 points to 0. Can see there Agevi going on a scorching run.
That was a brilliant run from Agevi, and the offload was brilliant.
Yeah, and he had the presence of mind to give to feed the ball to Eliakim Kichoi, who takes the score now to 24 points to 0.
And that's exactly the difference between the more experienced sides, being able to know when to do what.
Yes, when to exert pressure, when not to exert pressure, when to increase the tempo.
You see, they've been slowing down the ball, creating the faces when the space appears. Guys just put on the afterburners.
Once again, Kisumu losing the ball from their own kickoff there. They had gone on a very good run and will be penalized here by Mwamba. And the ball has been lost there, but Kisumu able to retrieve it. That ball has gone out. There was a foot in touch, and it's going to be a line-out throw for Mwamba. Good work there being done by Steve Sikuta.
You can see the fresh pairs of legs coming in.
Yeah, fresh pairs of legs have come in to support Mwamba here. This game is probably done and dusted, but just trying to give his team a bit of depth and polish. And Kisumu able to win that line-out throw.
Very unfortunate from Kichoi there, going for the ball with one hand and losing it forward.
Once again, Kisumu just getting an error there. There was a knock on there from Kisumu, and things not going their way here in this second half. Very warm welcome to those of you who are joining us from wherever you are to the bullring in Kakamega for the National 7 Circuit. Here at the bullring in Kakamega County. A first tournament of the season for the Sevens. It's Kakamega Sevens. Already we've had 3 games being played. This is the 4th. Tony Omondi and Mamba now trying to barge in their way. And a knock on there from Steve Sikuta. The referee's arm had gone out for advantage.
Penalty advantage.
And Mamba just taking it easy like a Sunday stroll. And is that a try?
If you're playing the systems, it will be easy, William.
Yes.
I think the more the younger players learn to do that, the easier it will be for them to play this game.
Strikes given. That takes the score now to 31 points to 0. 31 points to 0. Mamba have rested some of their big guns there. They already do have this game in the bag, so they're just testing their depth and strength to see what they can do here. And the conversion.
I think they're just going through the paces now to try and cement the game, how they want to play the game for the entire tournament. But we've seen very good performances, and you can see all the bench players have come on board.
Yeah, all the bench players have come on board. Mamba next face Mean Machine. Michael Agevi there on the bench. Likes of Luis Kisii on the bench.
It's a very good playing unit and a good supporting system in the technical bench. It's a big boy, this.
He's a big boy, but I think he's been given the card here.
Yeah,
he's been sent to the bin.
The infringement, I think it was a high tackle.
So Kisumu with the scrum put in, they've hardly seen any of the ball in this second half. And they're under pressure, and
that was
penalizes them
for the deliberate knock-on. Tab was being clever there, trying to slap the ball off the Kisumu scrum half's hand. Usually you go for the hand so that you can knock it on as opposed to touching the ball.
Mamba penalized there yet again.
Not releasing.
Not releasing in the tackle. And
I think somebody will be going to the bin.
Mamba down to 5 now.
That's 2 infringements in a row. 2
infringements in a row. Their discipline really is not very good, especially when you get to the tougher matches later in the course of the day. So Mamba down to 5 men.
Yeah, that's a very unfortunate situation. You can see the younger lot don't really know how to do it, and they're the ones who've caused that penalty.
Yes.
It's funny seeing 5 men in a sevens pitch.
Sevens game, yes. 5 men. We're used to seeing 6, but not 5.
Yes, six is acceptable. 5 is a bit much.
So can Kisumu take advantage, at least get a consolation try, especially with 5 men against 7? That means you got a 2-man advantage, and once again Kisumu
lose the ball
in contact.
They don't realize how important it is to score as Mamba is down 2 men.
Yeah, and keep the ball in play, and Mamba just opting to take the ball out. 2 touch.
Because they're not able to run the ball, and they know they can claim the ball off the line out. And I think they overdid it. They didn't hear the hooter and thought to kick the ball.
Hooter sounded, and Kisumu will not even probably get a consolation, and that has been the story of them losing the ball, and that actually there was no pressure from
against
any
5 men. That's very unfortunate.
It's very unfortunate there for Kisumu.
And Mamba being arrogant enough to be able to play 5 against 7 and keep the ball in possession, keep the ball in play, not kicking it out at whatever cost.
Yes,
that's very confident. I think there's 6 men now.
Actually, 6 now, 6 against 7, and Steve Sikuta will close out this match with a try here for Mwamba. That takes the score now to 36 points to 0. And that should be that here. 6 against 7, but Mwamba just showing composure and experience to kill this game as a contest in the first half. And Mwamba will top now Group B, to be followed by Nondies, Min Machine, and Kisumu will pull the tail at the bottom of the pool.
That was a brilliant performance from Mwamba. You can clearly see how far back Kisumu are in terms of playing the sevens game at the very top.
At the highest level, yes. Next game coming up is Kisii RFC against Kabras. Kabras Sugar against Kisii RFC.
Notable name in the Kabras is Felix Ayange, who was a former Kenya Sevens player as well.
And
quite
also
a seasoned
Brian Tanga
player.
also, who's been included in the team. Brian Tanga and Felix Ayange and Malik Abil, I think the experienced players in this Kabras team, have also opted to go for youth in terms of some of their players in the Eric Shirley Shield.
It's a good thing we're seeing here. Most of these teams exposing the younger players.
Yes,
And
yes.
it's good to see Tanga back. He had been pretty ill a few weeks ago, so it's good to see him recovered and ready to show us some brilliant rugby on this weekend.
Yes, Kabras Sugar won the National 7 circuit under Charles Kaduvilis 2 years ago. Didn't have a very good season in 2018. No upset so far. The form book has gone. There in your picture is Henry Duplessis and Edwin Achayo.
Achayov's a very nippy scrum half in his playing days.
Yes, a very nippy scrum half in his playing days.
And they start the game with a half penalty.
The half penalty,
For
the
not
ball,
getting the ball across.
The ball did not get across the full 10 yards. So Kabras Sugar will bend the pressure here from Kisii. Can Kisii do here? No upset so far. Homeboys, Impala, Mwamba, Nondies have all won their matches on this opening 4 matches of the National 7 circuit. Kisii playing from left to right, and Kabras playing from right to left.
Kisii definitely an unknown outfit. Not knowing the individuals, but looks like they're really playing. They're really playing as a team, which is very important to see.
Kisii keeping the ball alive in these opening exchanges so far, not being overrode by the opposition.
I think the composure they've got keeping that ball. Unfortunately, they lose it on that occasion.
And Kabras with their first attack of the morning here. And that should be the opening try here of the morning for Kabras Sugar.
They made very easy work of that ball. Of course, you see the involvement of Tanga in that movement, and seeing him drove 2 players and giving the ball out to the player who's playing outside.
Yeah, Tanga missed a good chunk of the Kenyan Cup season towards the tail end with malaria and typhoid, and didn't recover in time for the semis and the finals, but looks fully fit and healthy as Kabras take the lead here.
It would be good to see him picking up.
Yeah.
And already you've seen his brilliance in committing those 2 men and popping the ball at the right time.
So Kabras with the lead here, 7 points to 0. Next game is between KCB and the Masinde Muliro University. Both in the same pool, Pool C. And Kisii just showing some composure there. It's a good break there from Kisii now. Does he have support? He's able to...
Very composed, putting the ball on the floor and creating the rack. That gives them a very good chance to score, unfortunately.
Loses the ball there in contact with the trial and beckoning.
Ball forward.
So opportunity missed there by Kisii RFC. They had Kabras in 6s and 7s there, and they just needed to show a bit of composure, but they'll get the rub of the green there from the referee. It's going to be a penalty to Kisii RFC.
that was very composed for them to take the ball to the rack close to the line as they did, because usually with the younger players there's a white line fever.
And Kisii now on the attack here. They should get this try.
Unfortunately, I don't think he released the ball, but the ref gives it.
Yeah, the ref has given
penalty.
Now Kabras, Brian Tanga. They lose that ball, and it's going to be a try here for Kisii. Kisii finally get their scoreboard. And Kisii get on the scoreboard. Conversion is the conversion good? I don't know if the flag went up.
I didn't see the flag going up, but that was, oh, I did. Oh, that was brilliant from Kisii.
Yeah, Brian Tanga didn't.
Of that very costly mistake, the ball not going to hand, and Kisii pouncing on it. And I think I like the awareness of the Kisii players.
Yeah, they're able to read that ball very well and just pounce on the mistake. And Kisii are level with Kabras here, 7-7. Costly error there by Kabras as they were attempting to build a phase of play there. And it's won there by Kabras. Brian Tanga is trying to orchestrate things here for Kabras Sugar. And Tanga is off here.
He's definitely going to score this try.
And he's away here, and Brian Tanga redeems himself from that try. He gets Kabras' second try of the morning. He'll dot it down and take the score to 12-7.
It's 12-5 actually, I think.
12-5.
Yeah, it's been corrected. They didn't get the Kisii boys did not get that conversion.
So Kabras redeeming themselves in a span of 60 seconds. They now lead by 14 points to 5. And Brian Tanga just putting on the jet shoes there, beating the last man.
Brian Tanga, brilliant player. Strides well, steps and is very fast.
Yeah, very fast. Good balance and good awareness.
He's a former Kenya Sevens player as well.
Yes.
I think he should be able to be going back there in no time.
Yes.
If he's in good form this season.
So can Kisii get back on the scoreboard just as we are approaching the halftime interval?
I'm really impressed by Kisii's composure, being able to take the ball in the rack and just trusting that the next person is there, and the support players coming in fast and protecting the ball.
Yes.
And they've done it severally.
Trusting the process, and the referee penalizes Kabras there. Kabras thought that they had cleaned the ball very well at the rack, but the referee has called for an infringement.
I think there was hands in the rack there.
Kisii now on the attack here. Kabras leading by 14 points to 5.
For an unknown side, Kisii are playing very composed.
Yes, very composed here. Good counter coming in from Kabras here, and they've been able to get the turnover.
It's definitely a punishable offense by a card.
Yes, Kisii going to be down to 6 men. Cynical foul. Felix Ayange, not seen so much of him in this first half.
No, he has not been actually. It must be the very few times he's held the ball.
And what can Kabras do as we finish the first half? And he's taken out into touch. So it's going to be the halftime interval here. Kabras leading by 14 points to 5 against a very gallant and resilient Kisii team.
I think the Kisii team has done pretty well in this half. That composure, if they can keep that composure and believe and trust in the system, they're definitely going to get a few points on the board.
Yes, they've defended very well. They've shown a bit of toughness, especially in handling the ball and looking for the execution in attack. And they're very alert, as evidenced by that try which they scored much earlier. But they are trailing by 14 points to 5 at the halftime interval.
not there at all.
The Kabras coaches will be telling the players to
guys are flat. We don't
make sure that they keep the ball.
So we've got no platform to rush to the ball. We've got guys actually running past the ball carrier.
I think Kachayo there will be telling them
to example this one. They're short one man. We just need to shift it quick enough, set the breakdown, come back, easy try. So we need to think about that over and over and over.
Communicate us, okay, senior.
No way. Right. So Keith, you're going in for Tanga.
Halftime was there from the two benches to their teams.
Mbede, you're going in for Felix.
Kabras
Right.
leading by 14 points to 5.
We need to finish this game.
Intensity on 2, 1, 2! Intensity!
So second half about to restart here. Kakamega Sevens live from the Bull Ring. A very warm welcome to those of you who are joining us on this opening day of the National Sevens Circuit here at the Bull Ring in Kakamega. And the restart there from Kisumu, from Kisii RFC, and that will be a line-out throw for Kisii. The ball had gone out, and the last time to touch was a play from Kabras. 14 points to 5, Kabras leading. A very young Kabras team that only has the experience of Brian Tanga and Felix Ayange. And that was a forward pass. And once again, the errors slowly creeping into Kabras' play. It's going to be advantage to Kisii. Scramble here for Kisii RFC. 14 points to 5 the scoreline. This is a Pool C clash between Kisii and Kabras. It's Kabras with the Kisii with the Putin. They have almost identical kit, I beg your pardon. So Kabras now with a bit of defending to do against Kisii, who are looking very composed. Not really shying away from taking the ball into contact, but the referee penalizes Kisii. The referees consulting. Offside there from Kabras Sugar. So it's going to be advantage to Kisii. What can Kisii do now here? They've had a lot of the ball, but they're just not executing in the right areas of the pitch. Kisii on the attack here. And miscommunication. Are able to hold on to that ball. Just trying to look for gaps here in this Kabras defense. No Philip Vokorach, no Dan Sikuta in this Kabras team. Good break there coming in from Kisii. Kabras with a bit of defending to do here. Going through the phases here. It's Kisii on the attack, and Kabras with a bit of defending to do. And they lose the ball there, and it's advantage to Kabras. And they lose the ball there, but the referee says that they were not the requisite 10 Kisii. And Kisii missing a golden opportunity just to score a second try and put this game on the balance in a knife edge. So it's Kabras on the attack again. That looks like Malika Bill going into contact there, able to present the ball. It's Kabras on the attack here, trying to look for try number 3. But it's all very scrappy from both teams here. Scrappy play coming in from both sides. And Kisii able to retrieve the ball from that era from Kabras. But it's been well read there. Now can Kabras make it count here? Good break coming in here from Kabras. And they will get try number 3 on the board. Very scrappy piece of play, but Kabras just showing a bit of composure there. And they get try number 3. That takes the score now to 19 points to 5. Conversion good. That takes the score now to 21 points to 5. And you could say that maybe Kabras have this in the bag. $21 points to 5. So Kabras with the restart, they lead by 21 points to 5.
Definitely taking the game away from Kisii. It's now a very safe Kabras lead.
Kisii, a bit of a scrappy game from them in that last passage of play, which saw them concede that try. But actually both teams not really settled. So a lot of errant passes, knock-ons, and lack of composure. But
this set of fast games, as you had said, William earlier, we'll see a lot of scrappy play because the boys are just warming up. Fast games for all these teams.
And advantage to Kabras Sugar. Good defense there. They read the line very well and they were able to get the defensive read very well on Kisii RFC. Actually, it's going to be a Kisii ball.
They should make something of this with only less than a minute to go in this half. It helps to be able to close down that gap because it might count at the end of the day.
Yeah, it might count at the end of the day depending on how many points you've scored and where you end up on day 2 of the National Sevens Series circuit. And the kick there wasn't actually needed.
That's an awful decision.
Should have kept the ball alive and gone through a couple of more phases there for Kisii. They go for the quick line out, but the referee says...
It's the only fortunate that they're able to tackle the man into touch. Otherwise, then it would have been a very costly mistake.
Yeah, very costly mistake there from Kisii, who've battled hard in the first half. They were only trailing at one point by 14 points to 5, but that lack of quality and lack of experience really hurting Kisii.
It's very evident to the inexperienced young players that they're not able to maintain their lead whenever they have it, or just crumble when the pressure is too much.
And they've had actually very good opportunities to get a try, and it's very young side from Kabras making the play. Malik Abil there. Can Kabras get a 4th try at the hooter? Kind of passes, not the best of passes there.
Very careless passes, lazy as well.
Yes, but Kabras able to maintain possession. It's all Kabras here. Felix Ayange and Brian Tanga have been rested.
The hooter has gone, so I don't know why they're trying to keep the ball alive.
And the game is over. Kabras do get the win, 21 points to 5. They beat Kisii RFC, 21 points to 5 in this Pool C clash. Coming up next, it's KCB against Masinde Muliro University of Science and Technology.
KCB, of course, trying the younger players as well, under the tutelage of Dennis Mwanja, a former Kenya Sevens player and a very experienced one for that matter. We see Davis Chenge there. We see Shaban Mohammed there. We see Michael Wanjala, who are the more seasoned players in the team.
Kenya Sevens skipper, actually former Kenya Sevens skipper Davis Chenge also in this squad. It's a very strong KCB team.
It's good to see Andrew on the bench as well to assist Dennis Mwanja. That's a very well experienced bench working with KCB. So I expect a very exciting game from the KCB boys.
Of course, KCB also having signed Johnson Olinley, Levi Amunga, and KCB already making their presence felt with the opening try of the morning here for KCB. Vincent Onyala, who had a superb season with the Kenya Sevens team.
Oh, brilliant find for Kenya. Actually, I was mistaken in thinking there could be a young side, but quite an experienced young side with Olinley and the try scorer there.
Vincent Onyala,
an
alumni of St. Mary's Yala, making his presence felt there with opening try against Masinde Muliro University. So already the bankers off to a good start, though the conversion has been missed.
It's an exciting lineup, William.
Yeah, very exciting lineup from KCB.
Yes.
And good hands there from Onyala. And he just dots down. And what can Masinde Muliro University do here?
Again, you see the kind of play that I was talking about. He just took the ball and pinned his ears as opposed to looking up and seeing who he has outside to play. And of course, taking the ball to the corner where there's a lot more defenders.
Yes, KCB's first game of this National 7 circuit. Isaac Njoroge.
They're making an easy job of this game.
Dotting down there, getting try number 2 for KCB. Njoroge, who was playing at fullback for KCB as they won the Kenya Cup. A new find, actually. This is only his first or second year.
Had a brilliant season.
Had a brilliant season with KCB, and was actually called up to the Simba squad for the Elgon Cup. Played in the first leg.
I think it's a very good find for the Kenya Simbas.
Yes, very good find for the Kenya Simbas.
And
got Cage on his side.
Kenya Rugby in general.
Yeah, Kenya Rugby in general. Olindi with the conversion. Not successful, so that takes the score to 10-0. With the restart. Beautifully won there by Isaac Njoroge.
Oh, brilliant play. That was a good try.
Good play there from KCB. And KCB get their third try of the morning, straight from the kickoff, won by Isaac Njoroge. And KCB making it look so easy here in these opening exchanges against the Masinde Muliro outfit, who've barely had a sniff, and so far
they've been starved of the ball.
Starved of the ball, actually.
And that's because of the sharpness of this KCB side.
Yes. And KCB do get the third try. Conversion has been missed, so it's 15-0. You can see from the kickoff there.
And the support also came in
from Onyala.
The support was very urgent, and you can definitely see teams that have been drilled well.
Yes, and teams that have trained well, have had a very good preseason.
Yes.
So Masinde Muliro University now facing a baptism of fire in this pool, which also includes Kabras and Kisii, and the opening game against KCB. Very physical from the Masinde Muliro University side, and they've gone through a couple of phases. It's just now
they've done well there.
The money ball now, the money pass, which has to be looked for.
I'm actually impressed that they're able to keep the ball for that long with that pressure, sustained pressure from KCB.
KCB, yes, they're able to hold on to that ball for quite a while.
because of the beast cakes, you can see it's only 15-0, which is a very easy target for Masinde Muliro to get. There's been an infringement there. The ref calling someone, I think he might either warn him and give him a penalty or card him.
Yellow card for the bunkers, so they're down to 6 men. Shadon Munoko, the new signing.
It's good to see Shadon in the green and navy jersey.
Jersey, yes, green and navy jersey for. So it's going to be a scramble for Masinde Muliro University, who are trailing by 15 points to 0. Now they're playing 6 men as Shadon Munoko has been sent to the bin.
They've got to be cognizant of that fact and just be able to keep the ball a little longer. They should be able to get a try in this one. Unfortunately, again, I don't think they realize that this might be the only chance they have to score.
Yes, they'll have to keep the ball alive in the phases and probably try and exploit and look for some mismatches in the KCB team, which won't be easy, but they've got to make it count here, especially with a 6 against 7 opposition here. Michael Wanjala just trying to make himself a nuisance. And another card is coming out here for Masinde Muliro, so both teams down to 6 men each, and Michael Wanjala with a quick tap.
Tolindi, who should have just passed the ball out to make an easy try.
Chenge, KCB, and Njoroge, can he go over the whitewash? Yes, he can.
They're making a difficult job.
Shadon Munoko, the man on the Naughty Boys chair, joined now by the Masinde Muliro player.
They can have a chat.
They can have a chat, and it's 20 points to 0 as we come to the end of the first half here at the Lions Den. Here, I beg your pardon, here the Bull Ring in Kakamega.
With the Lions from the Den.
With the Lions from the Den. KCB Lions. Conversion good, so it's 22 points to 0. And as Dennis Mwanja maybe could copy a leaf from the Mwamba technical bench and go and maybe just empty his bench for the second half, as they have a healthy lead of 22 points to 0.
I think he'll probably do it when they go into the half. An infringement there
by Masinde Muliro University. And another Masinde Muliro player being sent to the bin, so they're down to 5. 5 against.
No, it's actually back to 6. I think Shadon came back.
Shadon has come back, so it's actually 7 against
7
5.
against 5.
And KCB just toying around with Masinde Muliro University. Michael Wanjala there going on a scorching run. And gaps all over the place here. Davis Chenge making it look so easy.
Making it look so easy with the offload after committing the 2 men. I think Dennis Mwanja will have the comfort of,
yes, the comfort of actually
having emptying his bench.
Emptying his bench in the second half.
Yes.
2 tries apiece here for Vincent Onyala and Isaac Njoroge. So they lead now by 27 points to 0 with the conversion kick to come here in this Pool C clash pitting KCB and Masinde Muliro University.
Actually, what I'd expected from KCB, very composed and doing the right things at the right time.
Yeah, so they lead now by 27 points to 0. KCB home and dry here as we take the halftime interval.
Off second, that's when Tunaweza express. On first, second half, not too much. It's easy for them to just isolate you come at target.
Tukidefend to press tuko tuna defend na rudi nyuma juu ya mistakes zetu. Correct. Alafu Johnny una rush na huko sure. Rush kwa sure. Taiso una form kama 15s.
Niambie sasa
una form kama 15s huko nyuma. Hii ni sevanda.
Sasa siwezi enda mbele.
KCB just encouraging each other in the huddle as they go for the second half. 27.0. We see some substitutions from KCB, and what can Masinde Muliro do in the second half? Had a bright spell for a couple of 1-2 minutes, but really didn't come to fruition.
I think the pressure from KCB, it doesn't look as aggressive, but it is very effective.
Yes, very effective. KCB won the National 7 circuit in 2013 and 2014. Haven't had so much success in the shorter version of the game as they've had in the 15s calendar, but this team looks very strong on paper and very good so far, with leading by 27 points to 0. Second half. So KCB now, second half. A ball goes out as the ball goes out there. KCB, a bit of pressure here coming in from the Masinde Muliro University team. Johnson Olindi, one of the new signings from KCB, from Homeboys, Levi Amunga, Shadon Munoko.
Line out for KCB, they should be able to have a good setup for a try now. I can see a few changes as well for KCB. They've made, is it 2 substitutions so far?
Yes. Michael Wanjala going to feed this ball into the line out. KCB now playing from right to left. Short line out there to Onyala, but
it wasn't straight.
It wasn't straight.
Yes.
So it's going to be advantage to Masinde Muliro University. Coming up next is a Pool D clash between Quins and Strathmore Leos, followed thereafter by Nakuru and Egerton. And we shall take a 10 to 15 minute break before we resume for the second round of fixtures in this Kakamega Sevens.
There's been a bit of cloud cover, so it's going to be a bit cooler in the last few minutes.
The last few minutes, yes.
But the weather is brilliant for Sevens rugby.
Yeah, weather is brilliant for Sevens rugby, as much as he trained last night. Good break there from Masinde Muliro University. Does he have support, or can he go all the way? Yes, he can. Well worked try there from Masinde Muliro University.
That was a good individual run there, and backing himself up, pinning his ears back and just striding to the trial, and that was a good run.
Yeah, that was a good break there. I thought maybe he needed support because there was good cover defense from KCB, but he believed in himself, and Masinde Muliro University get their first try of the match and this first try of the second half.
As you say, he took the matters in his own hands to save the day.
And the conversion is short, so that takes the score to 29 points to 5. I don't think it will worry KCB a lot here, but good play. If only they had played like this in the first half, probably the game would be closer.
They're only able to do this because there's been those substitutions.
Yes.
So, Mwanja is happy with his starting lineup, and I think he's seen enough with his experienced side, so he's giving the younger boys a run, who have to make such mistakes for them to be able to grow.
Yes. And much more lineup changes coming in for KCB. 29 points to 5, the scoreline. KCB in Pool C alongside Kabras and Kisii and Masinde Muliro University.
That's a very easy pool for KCB, if you ask me.
Yes.
I don't think they've got any sort of threat in that pool.
Absolutely. Probably their tough challenge could come in maybe from tomorrow when they get to the knockout rounds, if they can win the second match of the pool. Because if you win 2 out of 3 matches, you're definitely assured of playing in the main cup quarterfinals tomorrow.
I think they're very good contenders. This KCB side, we've not seen a very strong KCB side in the recent past.
Yes.
This has been very strong because they've got those young Onyala and
Isaac Njoroge,
who are new finds.
Yes, and of course Levia Munga, Shadun Munoko also in the team.
Shadun Munoko, who's also Kenya Sevens.
Yes.
Yeah, so there's a lot of experience in the young players, and then with Olindi there, you expect him to find those gaps for his bigger runners.
Yes, and of course the experience of the likes of Davis Chenge and Sao Tieno,
yes,
and Edwin Opondo, formerly of Strathmore Leos. So it's a very well balanced KCB outfit.
Extremely, I quite like that lineup, and
yes,
it must be a joy to work with them as a coach.
Yes. So KCB with the scrum ball here. What can they do now? And the beauty about KCB is that they can call upon the likes of Jacob Boji and Andrew Amonde maybe in the later rounds of the 7th series. So it gives Dennis Mwanja options on who to play and who to start.
He's got a lot of options,
yes.
And maybe just maybe this is a time for Andrew to start thinking about going into management and starting with KCB, because I think he's been a very big contributor in KCB's and Kenya 7 success.
Absolutely. A good break of play coming in from Masinde Muliro University. They've had a lot of opportunities here, keeping the ball alive. They're trying to probe the KCB defense. I don't think that play was well merited. He should have actually
should have released the ball way earlier. Yes, he had the small window of time to pass it in good time. It would have been a try.
Yeah, should have been a try. Yes. And KCB dodge a bullet, but they still have a 24-point buffer as they'll opt to go to the line out, get out of their 22 and try and win the line out there from.
You can see how calm and relaxed they are. That's a championship side.
Yes.
And knowing that you just have to go through the paces and make things right.
Poor line out throw there from KCB. It's been won by Menengai Oilers, but the Oilers lose it here. And KCB now finally.
That's actually Masinde Muliro.
Yeah, Masinde Muliro, who stole the ball at the line out, and they've actually stolen the ball again.
Yes, they've returned the favor.
And Masinde Muliro University, yes, do get the second try. 29 points to 10. I think KCB just dipping a bit in terms of performance.
Yeah, they've not been exerted themselves in this last half.
The substitutions.
They're happy with the safety, and the substitutions aren't as sharp as the starters. But I see Shaban Mohammed there, so I don't know really what's going on.
It's quite an experienced team with Shaban and the likes of Edwin Opondo also on the field. Isaac Njoroge.
And Chenge is also still there.
Chenge is still there. So but
it's just they really slowed down. I think.
I wouldn't say they've switched off, but the momentum is finally with Masinde Muliro University.
Maybe just they're happy, they're safe, and there's no danger that they'll
lose this game.
Lose the game, yes.
Yes. Edwin Opondo. Now KCB now on the attack here.
Now that's very good from Chenge. In the past, he would have run into the man in front of him, but now he looks for that option to step and play on the side.
Absolutely, and that's a try for KCB. That takes the score now to 34 points to 10, and that should be that for KCB. To me, it looks like a training run for them. Weren't really tested apart from some few spells of possession that Masinde Muliro University had, but it's a comfortable win at the end for KCB.
Yeah, Masinde lost a lot of ball as you'd expect from a side that is not as experienced as KCB would have been.
So that's the final score, 34 points to 10 in favor of KCB. As Kenya Harlequins now entered the field of play against Strathmore University. This is now Pool D.
So start of Pool D games. a very unknown outfit of Strathmore Leos, and if anything is to go by, they played in the Impala Invitational warm-up tournament that was done a fortnight ago on Friday. They're quite an outfit. Harlequins, of course, exposing the very youngest of their players to start working on rebuilding the side, both for the 7s and the 15s.
So Strathmore University, the Leos, getting us off underway in this Pool D clash against Harlequins.
That was a brilliant kick by Strathmore Leos. It was high, it was in the corner, and you see, because the Harlequin supporter came a little late, they're able to get that penalty.
Strathmore in the red playing from left to right, and Quins playing from right to left.
Quins missing a few tackles that will be crucial in this game. They should up the defense game by making those tackles count.
Now can Strathmore make it count here? It's a very tight pool that also includes Nakuru and Egerton University. Strathmore Leos, remember, were relegated, and that should be the opening try for Strathmore Leos there. Cecil Otieno getting on the scoreboard.
Poor defense by Harlequins, missing those tackles and allowing the Leos to play the ball at will. So they should be able to look at getting those tackles and making them count.
So Leos now got off to a very good start here. A conversion has been missed, so it's 5-0. Early days yet here between Strathmore Leos and Kenya Harlequins. That try scored by Cecil Otieno for Strathmore. So
Cecil's got a good player.
Yeah, he's got a good player there for Strathmore.
For Strathmore, yeah.
Strathmore relegated from the top tier of the Kenya Cup, but there won't be any pushovers in this National 7 Series circuit.
They've had a very long time to train to prepare for the 7s series, so there will be definitely a good side in this.
So can Harlequins respond? Dominic Osino, and Strathmore player loses his footing. Osino now is underway. I don't think he's going to be caught here.
There should be support for him because the chase is quite big.
Matt Wanjia, Osino, space there out wide, and this should be very easy for Harlequins.
That's entrusting the system again. They're under pressure, having conceded that last try, but just being able to be composed enough to know that they need the face play to come through.
So Harlequins level matters there with that try, and with the conversion kick to come, can they go ahead or will they be tied? It's 5-5. Wanjia will try and slot home this conversion for Harlequins.
It's good to see Wanjia back in the field after missing the 15s, a good part of the 15th season. He's been working hard in the off season and in preparation for the 7s tournaments. So it will be quite good to see how he fares on.
Yeah, Matt Wanjia, formerly of Mwamba, and the conversion is good. So Quins in the lead by 7 points to 5.
Getting a massive kick.
Actually, a kick from the corner. It's one area, I think, of the Kenyan game which needs to be developed, the kicking game.
I think we just don't practice it enough.
Yeah, we don't practice it enough, yes.
We ought not to just start at the national team level.
Yes, actually starting all the way from high school level, all the way to the age grade. It's very important, especially the kicking for points, especially for conversions or penalties. Now Strathmore was able to retrieve that ball. Strathmore playing from left to right.
The tackles are going really high from Harlequins and they're not able to bring the men down.
That's Bethwell Anami. Anami going on a scorching run there. Good support play coming in from Jude Baraka. And the referee says that there was a high tackle, as my co-commentator Benjamin Aimba said. Quins players would love to lower their tackling height, could give away very costly penalties.
And just not finishing
Gabriel
the tackles.
Makumi going on a very good run there, and wasn't a knock-on. Baraka and
The forward pass.
Forward pass there from Strathmore as they were going on a very good run there.
They ought to
Missed
compose
opportunity.
themselves a little more, Strathmore.
Yes.
With possession like that, especially with a tight game like this, you want to set yourself up for better runs on the outside as opposed to trying to force it where the defense is best.
Yes, yeah, you need to make possession count, especially when you have the momentum and when the defense has been stretched. So forward passes really need to be avoided, and those handling errors, especially the knock-ons, have to be well taken care of.
The referee sorting out the bind, because that's very crucial. Players try to be sneaky there,
Yes, they try to be
bind
sneaky,
loose.
to get an advantage.
Yes, for the quick departure from the scrum.
Wasn't tackled, so he's allowed to play the ball. Wanjia Osino, who created that opening try for Harlequins. Referee penalizes the Leos there.
I didn't understand what that call was. Actually, I thought he was going to penalize Osino for holding on to the ball. But I think it was from the side.
Yes,
Empty
Wanjia with a
to
kick
the rack.
downfield, doesn't find touch.
It's very unfortunate, isn't
There
it?
from Wanjia. The penalty in his favor, he should have been able to find touch to win the line out, but Strathmore.
And the defense is in 6s and 7s.
Yes.
It might be dangerous here for Harlequins.
Strathmore Leos looking for try number 2 here. Good break coming in there from Alex Maina. Jude Baraka.
That's the kind of composure that's going to make Strathmore very good contenders in this tournament. I think they've got the personnel and the coaching staff is quite good with
Yes.
with their skills. So
They're very patient.
yes,
And the referee once again penalizes Quins for a high tackle. So can the Leos make this count here? Was that a turnover?
it was a clean turnover.
It was a clean turnover, and
Angote carrying the ball. He's a very good ball carrier. Plays number 8 in the game, in the 15th game. And Jasper Chen just not taking off yet.
yeah, but he's able to play the ball because he's in tackle, and Quins should be able to get try number 2 here.
He's very good with his skills. He actually was tackled and released the ball before picking it up again, and that was a good. It was good to see the sense in him to do that.
Yeah, just for Chen getting Quins' second try of the morning here, and the conversion kick is good, so that takes the score to 14-5, and that's the halftime score there. Quins just maximizing on the opportunities there. You can see Chen was tackled,
Release the ball.
released the
picked it
ball,
up.
wasn't tackled again, and just showing quickness of mind there and awareness of himself.
Very skillful player, Chen.
Very skillful player, and gets a try number 2 for Quins. Takes the score now to 14 points to 5 against Strathmore Leos.
I think the Harlequins coach will be wanting to tell his players to complete those tackles and not start too high, because those penalties are going to be costly at the end of the day.
Yes, the tackling head has to be lowered from Harlequins, but the few opportunities they've had, they've been able to take them, and it's 14-5 in favor of Harlequins. Charles Kadovile is there.
Very good coach with the young players. Very patient with their growth.
In
And
defense, keep it nice and tight. The guys
a
on the
people's
bench are
man,
standing
and
watching.
his people skills is really
Bring
good
it
with
to
the
be
young players.
compressed
So
fast. We focus
we
around
expect
the
to see
ball.
a very
Once they shift
charged
it, when they get into the weak zone,
playing for
we take them
Harlequins
out.
this season.
So guys, let's finish big. Yeah? Everyone okay?
They're just
One more.
Maybe the coach wanting to tell them to keep the position as much as possible. They've been losing the ball a little too easily for the scarce ball that they've got. They've been losing it too easily.
John Odiambo by the coach of Strathmore Leos, who were relegated to the Kenya. Former Kenya Sevens international, former team manager, played the game at the highest level, so he knows this game inside out.
It's
And,
brilliant to see the older generation coming into coaching now.
yes, absolutely.
Because there's a lot of teams now being managed by
Former players.
And
Yes.
yeah, it's been 2 decades since we started this journey.
Yes, 2 decades since we started the National Sevens circuit, and we've seen the growth of the Sevens game in the country, as well as the national team being a very strong force at the World 7 Series level.
Loads of improvements in that regard.
Yes.
As we play this tournament here, there's a Division 2 that has an equal number of teams.
16 teams also playing, and the level of competition quite high. Wanjia with the restart for Harlequins, won there by Strathmore Leos. Strathmore Leos need to get a try here in this early moment of the second half if they're to make this game a little bit interesting. And
that's a good counteract there.
Good counteract coming in from
yes.
Harlequins.
And held after he got that possession, so definitely go for a scrum. That rule, they've got to move once they've held the man up. Otherwise, then you don't get that call.
Yeah, you don't get that call. Yes. And
I think
Strathmore have just done that. They've actually held the ball carrier.
I actually saw the ref signaling that for me to give you this, you must move forward.
You must move forward, yes.
A pair of fresh legs there in the Harlequins scrum. You have Edie and Ochieng there.
Yes, Edie and Michael Chieng have come in for Harlequins here as they try and solidify this lead. Referee's arm is out there. Offside.
I actually think the speed of the scrum have dazzled the referee a little bit there because he actually started from the right position because it is the starting point that matters.
An Army there with a good cutback.
Good switch.
Good switch here. Strathmore growing in confidence.
It will be very costly for Harlequins for missing these tackles. It's very easy for Strathmore to set up their runs because they're getting the ball out easily and the tackles are not coming in.
Yes. Now, can the Leos get on the scoreboard? And ball had actually was a foot in touch.
Yeah.
Good break there from the Strathmore Leos, but just lack of awareness and maybe just lack of support. Probably should have given them a second try. But it's going to be a Quins line-out throw here. 14 points to 5 the scoreline.
Still not safe for Harlequins. They've got to get it right.
And so far, no upset so far on this opening 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 fixtures of the day. Referee penalizes Strathmore Leos.
There was a side entry there, and Harlequins have not been able to travel 10 after that penalty. So I thought the referee would have given them the
try for the Leos there.
Try for Leos there, getting that opportunity and pouncing on it real quickly.
Yeah, pouncing on it very quickly.
I think Harlequins assumed
protect the ball at the
that assumed that the referee was going to blow for the not 10.
Yeah, for the not 10, but
yes.
The referee actually played advantage.
Yeah.
So it's 14 points to 10 here. And the conversion is successful. That takes the score now to 14-12. The game is on a knife edge.
Definitely is, and with 3.5 minutes to go, you just don't know how that will pan out.
And Strathmore Leos, good try there, scored by Barnabas Owor.
Quick reaction there of a mistake from Harlequins.
Yeah, from Harlequins. Just as there was like in the first half when Quins were able to get the opening try there.
Yeah.
So 14-12, 3 minutes remaining, a long time in sevens.
A bit careless, that pass.
And can Quins respond? And the referee penalizes Strathmore there.
Quins have got to be fast on this one. They're a bit slow in how they're moving.
Good counteract there coming in from Strathmore. Work at the breakdown from Strathmore is exceptional. They've done very well. And
there was a side entry there.
A side entry, and there was a high tackle, and I think Aluda Beda is going to be given a card.
It's going to the bin.
It's going to the bin now. So Quins down to 6 men and living very dangerously here. It's 14-12.
It's definitely an advantage to Strathmore Leos, who should just take the ball to the corner and set up a line out. I thought that would have been an easier way to do it, but again, when they've opted to play it, and that's the reason. I think
And
they're quite confident.
Strathmore going to get try number 3 here.
That was lazy of Osino not to chase that one. He should chase to the depth.
Quins in a bit of trouble here. That should be try number 3 for the Leos. That takes the score now to 17 points to 9 with the conversion kick to come. And there's an upset alert going on here. If the score remains this way, we may have our first upset of the afternoon, but of course Quins still very much in this game. 19 points to 14.
Quins have just got to be very clinical in how they play this from now, because they're 5 points adrift. For them to win, they've got to get the converted try, and it means they've got to retain the ball for the next minute and a half.
Yeah, Quins down to 6 men, remember, with Aluda Beda, the former Kabras man, being sent to the bin. And Strathmore really cashing in on that one-man advantage to get on the scoreboard.
I think he has just about half a minute in the bin. So his teammates have to keep the ball in to be able to win this game.
Quins not out of it, but they'll need to show composure and hold on to that ball. Osino.
Hillary got a good ball carrier, should be able to give them the go forward.
Ball has gone behind according to the referee, so it's not a knock-on. Once again, Quins are penalized.
Yeah, I didn't think there was a tackler there, so it's when he rolls with the ball, usually to try and avoid the tackler to stop him, that's when you blow the whistle.
30 seconds remaining. Strathmore Leos leading 19 points to 14, and they do have the penalty advantage here. Do they go to the corner? Do they go for the quick tap?
They should have gone for the posts, if you ask me. that makes it very safe.
Yeah. It actually gives them an 8-point buffer. And it means now...
Yeah, because now then this is a 50-50. But
and
again,
that will be a try for the Strathmore Leos.
Yeah.
That takes the score now to 24 points to 14.
That's a missed tackle we were talking about, and this really definitely cost Quins in this game.
And the first upset about to happen here, because time is up here. And Quins losing the opening game here by 24 points to 14 with a conversion kick to come. That will take the score now to 26 points to 14. It's been a very poor second half from Harlequins. And that is that.
They've actually not played in the second half at all.
Played in the second half. They were leading by 14 points to 5 at the halftime interval. But Strathmore showing scant respect for their more illustrious opponents. And they have won this game. They've turned it around in the second half to win by 26 points to 14.
It was a good game Strathmore put across today.
Yeah, absolutely good game from the Leos. They believed in themselves in the process, and they have played intelligent sevens rugby. So that means it's a pressure game for Quins in their second game when they'll be facing Egerton. They'll have to win that game. I think they went to sleep in the second half.
They definitely did, and the missed tackles, as I said earlier on, was going to cost them, and they missed quite a few tackles. So they need to work on that. They need to work on their mindset to get those tackles in the next game they play.
Yeah, it will be a pressure game for them. Though my head tells me they probably could win it. It'll come down probably to the last game against Nakuru to see if they will make it to the main camp quarters.
Yeah, it will be good to see how the young players pick themselves up, and I think for me, having worked with Quins, I think I've seen the naivety in some of those decisions being made, and of course just the carelessness of not being able to make those tackles that you needed to. As you see, as you now watch Nakuru taking on, is it Kabras?
Wasps, Egerton Wasps of Egerton University. So we've already had our first upset of the morning. Can the Wasps replicate whatever they have seen with Strathmore? And that ball doesn't go the full 10 meters, so it will be advantage to the Wasps of Egerton.
Starting the game with a mistake like that is quite disappointing.
Yes, Nakuru, of course, won the Drift Sevens last season, courtesy of the likes of some brilliant play by Nelson Oyo, likes of Cassius Omolo, Gramuel Bunyasi. So one of the very few winners we had last season. because Homeboys actually did win, I think, 5 out of 6 tournaments last year.
Was it 5 or 4?
I don't know who won Crystal Sevens last year, the last tournament.
I think Mwamba won one, didn't
Mwamba won one.
Yes.
So Mwamba won one and Nakuru won one.
Won one.
Okay, yes.
Homeboys did the rest.
I did the rest. So Nakuru here on the attack here as they face a team from the county of Nakuru, Egerton Wasps.
Yeah, very unfortunate there, digging out the ball from the rack and it came from the side.
Came from the side entry.
Yes.
Nakuru coached by Micho Chola.
A brilliant coach. He's worked well with this team, and as you can see again,
former player.
a lot of young players, and working with a former sevens player.
Yes.
And Mitch was one of the best players we had.
Yes, yeah, Mitch was one of the best players actually we had in this country. And that's the accuracy there, letting down Nakuru.
Yeah, ball not going to hand. This is it's something we're seeing a lot with this younger lot. And maybe it's something the coaches have got to address.
Just not doing the basics right, but Nakuru still hot on attack here. They finished second at the Embu Sevens, losing to Menengai Oilers, so they've had a very decent preseason.
They did, and that practice tournament usually adds on to what you offer.
Yes.
When the national circuit starts, because then you already have measured yourselves. So when you go back to the training park, you know what to work on.
And Nakuru should be able to get the opening try there. Yes. Nakuru with the opening try. Top try Nakuru getting on the scoreboard, getting the opening try. That takes the score now to 5-0 with the conversion kick to come. Nakuru in Pool D alongside Harlequins, Egerton University, and Egerton Wasps and Strathmore Leos. So Nakuru with opening try.
This is one of the Rift Valley derbies, isn't it?
Yes, it's one of those. Actually, yes, Rift Valley, Nakuru derbies. Call it what you like. And
then you've got the Oilers in the mix as well.
Oilers in the mix also.
It's
very strong representation.
It's good to see the game growing.
Growing in Nakuru.
Yes.
Especially for the Kenya Cup season, we shall have 5 teams outside Nairobi. Kisumu, Menengai Oilers, Kabras.
That's a very welcome departure from the norm.
Yeah, from the norm. I mean, it shows you that the sport is growing across the country when you've got 5 teams outside the capital city of Nairobi. So Nakuru with the restart. They lead by 5-0 against Egerton Wasps.
The ball, he actually stepped on the line. It didn't go 10 initially, but
Egerton missing opportunity there. He lost the ball with the slightest of contacts there. So a missed opportunity there for...
Maybe he just didn't expect to have the ball there.
To have the ball by that time. He won it from the kickoff, and he saw space and...
a bit surprised that the gap opened up.
Yeah, the gap opened up. And he just lost the ball as he was turning to his right foot, and an opportunity that has gone begging for Egerton. So Nakuru with a scramble. Egerton playing from right to left. Nakuru playing from left to right. Kasha Somolo there, making a nuisance of himself.
I think there's a high tackle there, and the touch judge seems to be indicating that to the referee.
Yes.
I don't know whether he'll respond to the referee's flag, but the touch judge flag, but he hasn't.
Didn't respond, but Nakuru are not 10, and there's a card coming out here.
Yes, that's slowing down the ball. That's a professional foul.
Yes. Professional foul there from Nakuru. So Nakuru down to 6 men, and the discipline of these two teams has to improve, because going forward, especially when you get to the knockout rounds, when the matches are a bit more tighter, you can't be playing with 6 men.
You really can't, especially with the simple mistakes like those ones. When you're close to the try line, you let the man go.
Yes.
Yeah. You're better off losing that fight, conceding that 5 points,
yes,
as opposed to not having a man in the field for 2 minutes.
Yeah, for 2 minutes, yes.
I think the referee has responded to the touch judge's call for the high tackle as well. And he apparently was the one was he the one in the bin?
Yes. So the referee changes that penalty for the high tackle, and from a position of strength now, Nakuru will have to attack this ball. It was going to be an Egerton Wasps ball, but from the conversation with the assistant referee, that penalty call has been changed. Now Nakuru now on the
they've
attack.
got to be very clinical how they play this from now on.
And Nakuru from that penalty get try number 2. That takes the score now to 10-0. Strong start from Nakuru. Really taking the advantages, cashing in on the opportunities.
They've done well because they've scored almost at the close of the first half. So that is good to see that the cognizant that getting a try at the end of the first half is going to put them in a very good position as they start the second half.
Despite they're still down. I mean, Nakuru down to 6 men, but they're still able to score.
Yeah, that shows you how much hard work they've had to put in.
Yeah, absolutely. 6 men against 7.
Basketball pass was well executed.
Yes, basketball pass there from Nakuru, and they lead here by 10 points to actually 12 points to 0 with a conversion kick having been slotted in between the sticks. And Michotola will be satisfied with the way things are going so far in this first game.
I think he'll be telling his side to keep on the pressure and just force them when they have the ball, force them to make mistakes, and that's a massive tackle.
Massive tackle there from Nakuru. Remember, there is a Division 2 tournament going on just across from where we are on pitch B. Pitch A is for the top tier, and we do have a Division 2 tournament going on across the pitch. It's a very warm welcome to those of you who are joining us from wherever you are here, from wherever you're watching. This is the Kakamega Sevens on this warm, overcast morning in Kakamega at the Bull Ring, home of Western Bulls. Good break there from Nakuru.
There's a gallant run from Nakuru. I think they're playing very,
sidestep
very
in
well.
there.
I wish you could carry the ball in 2 hands.
Two hands.
Easily offloaded it.
Easily offloaded it here for try number 3. It's a cutout pass to the wing. And this should be the second try here for...
The third try.
Actually, the third try and the second try for the afternoon for that man here in jersey number 11. Looks like Crispin Onyango.
Looks like the talisman for this team.
Yeah, looks like the talisman is looks like the go-to man on that left wing here for Nakuru.
Yeah, quite brave of Mitch to give his young chargers a chance, and you can tell across the board that the usual faces in Nakuru are not there. But
not there, yes.
But the game is being played brilliantly.
Yeah, been played brilliantly by his team. So that takes the score now to what is it, 17-0?
Yes.
With the conversion kick to come, and the halftime whistle has sounded. The conversion kick has been missed, so it is 17-0. As we take the halftime interval, Nakuru just showing their class here against Egerton Wasps. Egerton Wasps, of course, being coached by Enos Otieno.
Also former Kenya player.
Yes, former Kenya Sevens player, also 15th player also.
Yes.
That's the only problem.
So,
yes, we are
Juguna, we have really come of age.
Yes.
The pioneers of this game in the world, so to speak, and in Kenya have now matured and are all taking care of the game, and that's the reason why I like to insist that Kenya should not get coaches from abroad.
Yes. Lots of coaches here, by the way, who are innovative, very smart, and they're actually reading the game very well. And
they're the ones actually taking care of the players. You see, so if you have a cross section of them taking care of the teams, they should be able to do well. I don't think there's anything they lack.
Yeah, and we've got a lot of coaches, players who've coached. Players who play at the highest level now coaching their teams. So the last full game of the first phase of matches coming to an end here. It's Nakuru leading by 17 points to 0 in this Pool D clash. Already we've seen an upset happening between Quins and Strathmore, and Strathmore winning that game by 26 points to 14.
Yet to start the second half there. Is the Wasps kicking into Nakuru.
So Wasps with the restart. And the ball just goes out, so it's going to be a line-out throw for
Those
Nakuru
are very
RFC.
costly mistakes to make.
Yeah, costly
especially off the
mistake, yeah,
kickoff and you're trailing.
Yeah, they didn't target the line-out very well there.
I think he kicked it too deep for the guys who are running up from his side to get the ball.
And Nakuru in the line out very well there, well executed at the line out. And Nakuru just running rings around Egerton Wasps here. Very simple try to score. That will take the score now to 22 points to 0.
That was very easy for Nakuru. I think you can easily tell who are the most seasoned players
and
between,
Nakuru,
between these two.
And of course now Micho Chola will probably try and empty his bench.
He already has started. He's a sort of player, he's a sort of coach who let as many players in so that he can look at the quality they've got earlier on in the season.
Yes. So conversion kick to come here for Nakuru RFC.
That was a brilliant.
Started all actually from the line out.
Yes,
ball was won very well, and then they manipulated the space to take the ball out wide.
And just committing the players and putting the ball in the gap.
Yes.
Makes it very easy for the supporting runner to get the ball.
So, but Nakuru don't get the restart right, so it's going to be Wasps here, and a good show and go there from the Wasps here.
Oh,
good
brilliant play.
Good play there from the Wasps.
That was a good scissors cut.
Show and go and the switch. And finally, Wasps have come to the party. They get the opening try.
That was a really nice
22 points to 5. And for a couple of seconds there, the Nakuru defense went to sleep. And Wasps do get a try. Well worked try there. And their coach, of course, Eno Sotieno, will be a very happy man with that try.
Yeah, it's quite exciting to see.
Yes.
That little bit of play there with the big run and the switch at the end.
Switch, yes.
Very well executed by the try scorer.
Can Nakuru respond? Big ball carrier there.
It's a massive boy too.
Massive boy. And Nakuru has a bit of accuracy issues there, but they still maintain possession. Still maintain possession here. And it's a brilliant run here, and Nakuru probably will get their try here. 27 points to 7.
Fresh pair of legs coming in.
Fresh pair of legs have come in, and they just added to the momentum. So that takes the score now to 27 points to 7. With a conversion, 29 points to 5. And a response there from Nakuru. Immediate.
It's definitely safe for Nakuru now, 3 minutes to the end of the game.
Yes, they do have this win in the bag, and they will top the pool ahead of Strathmore Leos, who did concede 14 points.
And Mitch has emptied his bench as well. So
yeah, Micho Chola has emptied his bench.
And looks like they brought in a lot of firepower too.
They brought in a lot of firepower just to carry the momentum and just to score more tries in this encounter. 2.5 minutes to go. Egerton Wasps playing from left to right. Scored a gem of a try, but they are trailing in this game. That's a knock on there from Egerton Wasps at a very crucial period of face-off play, just when they seem to have a bit of momentum.
And the very few chances that they have the ball in hand.
Yeah, the very few chances that they've had, you should actually capitalize on them, but hasn't worked for them so far.
Just taking his eyes off the ball at the crucial time.
At the crucial time,
that's what
yes.
cost him.
Nakuru off to a very good start here in the National 7 circuit, alongside the likes of Homeboys, Mwamba, Kabras, KCB, and Impala. The only upsets we've seen so far is Quins losing the opening game there to Strathmore. And it puts pressure on them. They have to win their second game and probably their third game if they're to make it to the main cup quarters, which is still doable with the nature of sevens.
With an Nakuru side that is this clinical, it will be very difficult for Harlequins to have an easy win. They've got to really dig deep to be able to win. They're missing a lot of tackles, and Nakuru are really good in putting the ball in hand.
Absolutely. As Nakuru go and look for try number 6 here, but the referee penalizes Wasps, and the cutout pass there from Nakuru, and this should be easy pickings for Nakuru. Is that try?
He should have scored.
Yeah, should have scored, yes. Should have scored the try. That takes the score now to 34 points to 7. 50 seconds to go. Chotona, of course, emptied his bench. Will be happy with what his team has delivered so far in the 13.5 minutes.
Unlike many of the coaches, Mitch has emptied his bench way before they were really safe. So
yeah.
It shows the confidence
he has in his bench.
His bench.
Yeah. Conversion kick now by Nakuru. The kick is short, and we shall have one last restart before we go for the 10-15 minute break after the first round of fixtures. We shall resume with Pool A between Impala and Western Bulls. Restart doesn't go the full 10 meters, so it will be advantage to Egerton Wasps there. It's the third time we're seeing Nakuru with the same error.
Yeah, that needs to be addressed, because later on in the day or tomorrow it will be something that might cost them dearly.
Absolutely. As the Wasps try and get a sting or a second try for them. It's a very tough pool, which also has Quins and Strathmore Leos, and that ball does go out. Once again, the accuracy from the Egerton Wasps.
Just not being able to take care of your ball.
Not able to take care of their ball.
Yeah,
but
that is.
And the Wasps were penalized for side entry there. So can Nakuru now finish with a flourish, finish this game?
And it's good for them to pile on the points for whatever it is that happens at the end of the day, so that they're safe to play in the main cup.
They should be on course to register the highest score of the opening round.
And there it goes.
That takes the score now to 39.
Before the conversion.
The conversion kick to come here from Nakuru. Nakuru off to a good start here in Pool D. Following the form book that we've seen so far from the big teams in this National 7 circuit. Conversion kick to come now from Nakuru. And the first 8 games of the opening pool matches are done and dusted as we await this conversion kick. Conversion kick is successful, so that takes the score now to 41 points to 7.
That's the highest score we've
That's
had.
the highest score so far we've had in the National 7 circuit in the opening 8 fixtures of the pool game. So we shall take a break here for 10-15 minutes, and we shall resume with the Impala Western Bulls game in the next 10 minutes.
hatari. Masalale, hii ni penalty. Penalty inakwenda kuchongwa hii. Anamwangalia goalkeeper machoni. Anaangalia kando. Anaupiga mpira. Ameficha kweli kweli.
In a prime spot overlooking Nairobi's city centre lies the oldest university in Kenya, founded in 1970. The University of Nairobi is also one of the largest institutions of higher learning in the country and has been ranked among the best in the continent. At the heart of the main campus in the capital lies the workshop, a bedrock of raw rugby talent. The university boasts a host of competitive sports teams across all disciplines, one of them the Mean Machine, one of the country's oldest rugby teams to participate in the Kenya Cup.
My faith is built on nothing else but the spirit of Mean Machine. Going away to make a try against all the other teams. Oh, Mean Machine, I lay my trust. All other teams are sinking sands. All other teams are sinking sands.
Almost as old as the university, Mean Machine was founded in 1977